arrived at Lailon, and were greeted at the town entrance by a number of people, including a priest from Lethander, a Neverwinter guard, a town sergeant, and a number of townspeople's families. The townspeople expressed to us their worries of missing children and other townspeople in trouble, and that the town itself has been mostly evacuated. I spent some time talking to Sergeant Hasarump of Lithander and the priest of Lithander about the situation, but things were a bit chaotic and I had trouble understanding the graveness of the situation before chaos had struck. While Buddy and I and Mushie both pretended to be children as an act of espionage, we were suddenly facing a chariot being pulled by a mystical horses made of water and dark knights of some kind. I turned to see Errinith leaping into action to rescue the children that were running towards the chariot instead of away from it. I felt this to be a noble cause and jumped in to help. I managed to save two myself and the rest, but one were detoured from the cart in time. It was at the moment we saw it was too late for us to run back, and we were facing the faces of the travelers who rushed us to attack. The whole team jumped into action, fighting and casting spells. As always, Mushie took charge and obliterated the majority of the people single-handedly. I stood back to make sure that everyone was at full strength, while Bunny Knight and Errinith assisted with spells. In a very confusing and unexpected turn of events, Errinith having issues with his spells and ended up doing more damage to the team than the enemy, badly wounded myself and almost killing Errinith. I later spoke to him and found out he has issues with his spells like this often and has a very little combat experience. In fact, this was the first time for him in a major combat. Nevertheless, we managed to save the last child and take out the enemy. When searching their cart, we found very little things of value and were traveling with almost no supplies. I found this to be quite interesting. Maybe they were like me, of non-flesh and blood, and did not require food or water. I would like to further explore this theory. Once things were clear, the townspeople came out to thank us. Helping others is a feeling I do much enjoy. Someone named Bridezilla came to greet us and thank us for the work that we had done, and it was at this point the people of town asked us for another favor to go into the town, while also looking for their lost children. We instructed the people that we needed rest before we can take on such a task. They seemed confused by our statement, but if we go in without rest, we will be of very little help to the town. While Mushie and I rested, I pondered on this god of light that is worshipped in the town. I was told the church had a vested interest in the town and helped fund a massive temple built in its name. I wonder if there was any connection between my god and this god. This again is something I would like to further explore. After we awoke, I was surprised to see Bunny Knight standing over me, handing me a gift. A magical ring of some kind. I believe this was to be what the people of flesh call a peace offering. I must remember to get him something in return. Perhaps I should ask a Mushie for advice on this. The group then gathered back together to discuss our strategy, and to my surprise, Era was already addressing the group to let them know he was sorry for his actions, and to also let them know he was going to be going his own way. I could sense a feeling of sadness in him I have not seen on a man since the war. I looked into his eye holes and I told him that he had a place here and he should not give up. The rest of the group seemed to not care much on this subject, but I know that the path of the light tells me to do what I can to help who is around me. So I did just that, and he decided to stay. I just hope we can figure out a way to help him with his magic before it causes more issues. It is at this point where I am recording. We're about to head into town, and I worry that if the fight outside the town is any indication as to what we can expect in the town, we may need an extra prayer for our safety.